Little broadcast with me and little lady Nepsilol here. Right, today we are going to be doing some more little side quest cleanup. Why am I looking in there? Because there is nothing in there to look. This is where I want to look. To make sure this is actually broadcasting. Oh, there we go, I got a little email. Yep, live on my channel. Good. We are live. Right, so we left off the side quest cleanup here. We had one quest left to do. Let's get on with that, shall we? Enjoyed the meal? It's traditional Tunwat cooking. If you can help Shallow figure out what's ailing the farm, rest assured there's more where that came from. Shallow Key is ready to dig into the mystery. Alright, Elita, time to get started. Well, I suppose I've already started, but you know what I mean. First things first, we should have you take a look at the fields and see if you can spot anything that strikes you as unusual. You go ahead and make ready, Shallow. As coinkeeper, it would be remiss to overlook the matter of Elita's payment before she leaves. I'll send her along shortly. Okay then, meet me by the bridge just outside of town when you're ready. Forgive me, Elita, but I wasn't entirely honest just now. You will of course be paid for your services, but there's something else I wanted to discuss. I have a personal favour to ask of you. It concerns Shallow. She was born after the land's fusion, you see, and her parents, well, none of us can remember them. The townsfolk have done all their best to look after her, but I suspect she may struggle with things she doesn't feel she can talk to us about. Her reassignment by the government, for instance. For an outsider like you, however, I suspect she may be willing to open up. Perhaps you could find a quiet moment during your investigation to talk to her. Thank you, Elita. Your help is much appreciated. On both counts, of course. Now run along, and don't forget, you're to meet up with her at the southern bridge. She said she'd meet you at the southern bridge. I hope you can help her. There you are. Auntie really talked your ear off, didn't she? Well, I'll spare you my idle chit-chat. You walked these fields with Her Majesty, right? What was your first impression? Be honest and don't hold back. Any little critique might help. How does anyone run a farm in this weather? Oh, I didn't realize that was an issue. But now that I think on it, this place used to get a lot more sunlight in the past. That's why it's called Usulani after all, where the clouds dry, in the Shitona tongue. It's only thanks to electro technology that the farm has survived this long. Specifically those pillars at the center of each field. They're a true godsend, converting lightning energy not just to water, but also to fire, to stave off the cold and earth to replenish the soil. They were the first thing I thought to check, but they're perfectly functional. Still, you have a point. This isn't exactly prime farmland. Maybe there's an underlying problem with the soil that can't be mitigated with our tech. In that case, I say we roll up our sleeves and examine the fields more closely. I'll take the east side, so the west side is all yours. Sound good? Great! If you spot anything out of the ordinary, just give us a shout. Likewise, if I find anything, you'll be sure to hear me. Now, let's get to it. The soil is well drained with just the right amount of moisture, an effect of the electric pillar. Perhaps. In any case, nothing appears to be wrong. The soil is faintly warm to the touch. Evidently this electric pillar is doing its job. If you listen carefully, you can make out a muffled crackling sound from underground. Shalosi will want to hear about this. The soil is nice and crumbly, owing not just to the electric pillar, but the dedicated maintenance of the farmhands here. There are no glaring issues that you can spot. Now that you've investigated all the fields of the west, you should appraise Shalosi of the strange crackling sound you heard earlier. This is the field where you heard the funny sound. Well, I'll be. There it is. It sounds to me as though it was coming from deep underground. I'm impressed you caught it with those little ears of yours. It's horns actually. So, should we start digging? You know, the soil feels a little too warm. And what's that smell? Mushrooms? Ah, I found something. It's a box and some sort of measurement device. That's enough crackling, you. Now, let's see what's inside the box. Papers? Someone's report, it looks like. What's written here? To Shalosi, from UUP. Concerns about toxic X-ray infestation. Yuppie. The Yuppie. How does a farm's founder know my name? And why would they pen me a letter? I write to you regarding my concerns for the future of this farm, as well as their potential solutions. This farm survives by the mercy of its technological support, but if the same crops are planted again and again over a sustained period of time, there is a chance the yields will weaken. I don't believe it. That's precisely the problem we're having. This is a brilliant discovery, Elita. I need to sit down and read everything that's written here. Will you go and tell Auntie Nakanetti about this? Welcome back. That gleam in your eye tells me there's been progress. Where's Shallow? A letter with her name on it. Buried in a box in the fields. Her eyes must be glued to the pages even now. I wish I could offer you more details about Yuppie, but those memories must have been taken to the cloud. I'm sure it must seem very strange to you that we forget the dead. Even we struggled to come to terms with it at first. But we all came to the same conclusion. For the Torelli citizens to make a life for ourselves out here, we would have to wear the regulators. All of us, even baby Shallow. At any rate, what matters is that you've managed to find a lead. Carry on with the investigation, dear, and do let me know how it goes. Nakenti has an idea of where Shaloki might have gone. Shallow said she wanted to sit down and read, did she? In that case, I suspect she's at the control tower right about now. It's the facility that houses the town's electro equipment. She's been haunting the place ever since she was a child. Anytime she needs to read something without distractions, like as not, you'll find her there. As for why she's so taken with the tower, I couldn't tell you. Anyway, I'll mark it on your map. Go and check on her, won't you? What is it about the control tower that fascinates her so? In any case, I've marked it on your map, if you'd like to go and see how she's doing. Oh, hello, Elita. Perfect timing, actually. I just finished reading over the report. Turns out Yuppie was a Shitona woman, and apparently she's also, We'll get to that later. More importantly, this report details the major problems she foresaw impacting the farm decades ago down the line. Which is to say right about now. It says here that she buried the microbial colony counter with her findings, so the moment this particular problem started to manifest in the fields, the alarm would sound and draw someone's attention. Now, I wanted to ask, have you ever been to Yeselani Station? The report suggests the solution for a problem, but it requires a special device she apparently left all the way over at the station. Before you say anything, don't worry, I won't be running headfirst into danger on my own again. That's assuming, of course, you would accompany me there. Thanks, Elita. Make whatever preparations you need to, then meet me at the Halo. I'll be waiting. All set? Excellent. So, about the problem with the farm. According to the report, the cause of the declining harvest is an infestation of X-rays, a type of toxic slime mold. With the electro pillars fertilizing the soil, everything in the ground stands to benefit, good or bad. That's why the farmhands weed the fields so aggressively. But by hiding out of sight under the topsoil, the X-rays have had free rein to draw vital nutrients away from the crops. The more they multiply, the smaller our yields. In short, if we're to save the crops, we need to exterminate the X-rays. And to do that, we need a device that's stored at the station. Are you with me? But what I don't understand is, why the UP would store the report and the device in two separate locations? Wouldn't it have been easier to put them both in the box? Oh well, no point in wondering, I suppose. Shall we be off then? In addition to all the detailed information about the X-ray threat, the UP also wrote about how life here changed after the land fused. Some of it I'd heard from the townsfolk, but her writings weren't without their revelations. Some more shocking than others. I haven't quite wrapped my head around it all just yet. That's why I wanted to make the trip out here, to give myself time to let it all sink in. At any rate, I'm glad to have you with me, Elita. Here we are at Tishpina, with a stone towel. Yupi's report claims that both she and Auntie Kante used to live here. When the land changed so drastically that the entire village was all but flung into danger, that's when Queen Sphene turned up. After some discussion, it was decided that the villagers would take refuge in Everkeep. While most were content to stay there, some grew to miss the feel of nature beneath their feet, and so they decided to resettle in the outskirts. Auntie and the others could be living the high life in Solution 9 right now if they wanted, but instead they remained loyal to the land. Ah, that dusty old town means the world to me, Elita. I originally took on the role of engineer, so I could help make life easier for everyone. If I'm going to be responsible for the farm, then it's up to me to solve the problems, whatever they may be. Ah, the station's coming up now, just over the hill to the southeast. I'm not in any hurry to cross the finish line though. Slow and steady wins the race just as well. Seems a downright waste to me. With a little elbow grease, these houses could be good as new, but I suppose it's too far from the safety of Everkeep. You know, that reminds me. Apparently the Tonawata and the Shintota used to be sworn enemies. Can you believe it? But then some king, Gulul something or other, mended the rift between these two peoples, and they came to share the land peaceably. This all happened before Auntie was born, so who knows how many decades ago that was. We've come quite a ways now. Look at the view of Everkeep. When I was little, I attended school there with other kids from the outskirts. That's where I learned all I needed to work as an electro engineer. Yuppie wrote in a report that she wants 2 close-in classes. She said the mysterious machines were a new frontier she couldn't help but want to explore. But she used the knowledge she gained from her formal education to build Yuppie's halo. Curious as she was about technology, it seems nature was her true passion. When I think about all the love and care that went into the halo, I'm not sure I have any business taking charge of it. Ahem. We're nearly there now. Let's hurry and secure Yuppie's device. A sight to behold, isn't it? I hope someday I get to see one of those huge train things running on it, like in the old days. I always have my suspicions, but now that I'm seeing it in person, I think I've actually been here before, back when I was younger. All my life I thought it was just a silly dream I had. I remember walking along the tracks, hand in hand with some grown-up, while they talked to me about the station and the lands beyond. Now I think I might know who it was. Here we are at Usulani Station. Quite the trek, eh? Before the land fused, people flocked here in droves. But these days, well, no need to state the obvious, I suppose. Now to retrieve Yuppie's device. I think she said it was in this building here. Storage cupboard, bottom shelf, at the very back. Aha! Here we are. Apparently the special transformer has already been attuned to the farm's pillars. It should force the X-rays out into the open. Do you remember what I told you before about how the pillars convert the power of lightning into nutrients to help the soil, and the X-rays in turn steal those nutrients for themselves? This device will halt the conversion, funneling a massive energy current straight into the ground in one fell swoop. The beasts will be deprived of their food source and given a nasty shock besides. To escape the shocks, they'll have no choice but to form fruiting bodies and burrow to the surface. That's when we strike, or at least, that was Yuppie's plan anyway. Isn't she incredible? She realized her soil was at risk of attracting fungi, so she planned out a detailed countermeasure decades in advance. I can scarcely believe someone as middling as me could have a mother so brilliant. How long have you known? I found some sort of official document together with the rest of the report. It states that, upon Yuppie's death, her daughter was to be given full control of the farm, once she reached adulthood. Now I've come of age, and I've been put in charge of the farm. What else am I to think that... But she must be my mother. It feels like something from a storybook. The tale of a humble villager, who was in truth the descendant of a great hero. But Yuppie was no work of fiction. She was real, and she walked these lands just as I do now. When I was first assigned to Yuppie's Halo, I thought there must have been some mistake. Why me, when there were surely countless others more capable? I still haven't found my answer yet, but if one thing's for certain, it's this. I won't let her legacy wither and die on my watch. At least now we've got a tentative solution for the farm's X-ray infestation. Let's head back to the outskirts and set about putting Yuppie's plan into motion. You know something? I think I've come to understand why she hid the device way out here. I think maybe, now that I'm a woman grown, she wanted me to see what's become of the life we once had. Just a theory, mind. Shallow tells me the investigation has made great progress, owing in no small part to you. After that long walk, I'm sure you must be tired as I am. We'll enact our extermination plan soon enough, but for now, let's both take a moment to rest. Oh, and thanks for walking with me. I'll see you when you get back. Ella tells me investigation has made great progress, owing in no small part to you. Shaluki is eager to mitigate the mushroom menace. Perfect timing, Elita. I just finished explaining everything to Auntie here. You know, I always wondered why the government would reassign you to Yuppie's Halo. I never imagined you were the founder's daughter. Honestly, I think they would have been better served choosing someone who was there from the beginning, someone like you, Auntie. I don't even remember my mother, and yet it's because of her that I was promoted to head of the Halo. I may not be qualified to solve all the farm's problems, but I can at least solve this one. Elita, it's about time we evicted those unwanted tenants. Once you're ready to get your hands dirty, meet me at the control tower. There's one last thing I think we need. Oh, for heaven's sake. Here I thought she was worried over something serious. If anything, we were relieved that a local was chosen for the role. Sure, she may be inexperienced, but we all know she's got a good head on her shoulders. She'll grow into it on time. I understand this whole ordeal has been a lot of trouble, Rita, but I want you to know how much I appreciate all your help. Now, I hope you'll forgive a little worrying on my part, but you do realize fructified X-rays are essentially mushroom monsters, yes? They're more troublesome than they look, so please be careful. I know Shallow cares about this town and the people in it. To me, that's all that matters. There you are. Are you ready, Elita? As soon as I integrate this transformer into the control tower circuitry, those electro pillars are going to send lightning straight into the ground. Your job will be to survey the eastern and western fields and stamp out any fungal fiends that sprout up. Take this communicator and await my signal. Our plan begins as soon as you get into position at the farm. Testing. Elita, can you hear me? The transformer is connected and on standby. As soon as I activate it, the X-rays are going to come crawling in at full speed. There's no telling how many we ought to expect, so be on your guard. Nastasia kotosti atomia tonosti kadosti ashtanamatta tuyato inamasto kotosti atomia. Elita, how'd it go out there? Are you hurt? How many were there anyway? Wow, you're incredible. You don't even sound out of breath. Well, if you're ready for round 2, I'll reroute the transformer to the fields on the other side. Once you're all done, meet me near the bridge. Goodness me, that was quite impressive for someone without a regulator. I really owe you one, Elita. With any luck, the X-rays should be well and truly exterminated. There's only now the matter of changing the soil, of course, and taking measures to prevent future infestations. But thanks to you, the Halo is on the road to recovery. Shallow, dear, do you still have misgivings about your reassignment? None of us are upset by the idea of you taking charge of the Halo. The only thing that matters is how you feel about taking up that position. If this isn't the life you want, it's not too late to change your mind, you know. Thanks, Auntie, but I think I'll be just fine. It's always been my dream to give back to the community that raised me. The way I see it, I've been given a more direct opportunity to do so. I only need a little time to come to terms with it, that's all. When I was walking to Usulani Station with Elita, I remembered that I used to make the same trip with someone else. Yuppie, probably. I think she used to tell me stories of her homeland. She built this farm so that our people could survive in the outskirts, but I don't think that was ever the dream. Deep down, I think that she wanted more than anything was to rebuild Tesh Piane and the station. That's a dream I'd like to see realized, and it can be done if I'm content to stay here in the outskirts. I don't know for sure what my next steps will be, but I have a lot of ideas. Oh dear, should the coin cooper be concerned, I wonder? Now then, Elita, if it weren't for you, we may have never gotten to the bottom of this mystery. At the risk of repeating myself, thank you for helping and for caring. You've helped us more than you'll ever know. And I actually really enjoyed our little trip to the station. Next time I have business out there, you better clear your schedule. And that's another area cleared. Down there. There we go. I spoke to my fiancée and she wanted to tell me about to find a job that gives me plenty of time to spend time with her. Well, I just submitted my application. Not much I can do now but wait and see what the future has in store for us. The overwhelmed official is inundated with concerned citizens. You are one of the Queen's Fiend's guests, are you not? I gather that you helped drive the mechanical soldiers from our streets. You have my thanks. As a matter of fact, you might be able to help me. In the wake of the recent disturbance, we've been overwhelmed with aggrieved citizens. I'm steadily working through the backlog of claims, but ideally I'd like to hear from as many citizens as possible, and I'm well aware that there are some matters the people are hesitant to broach with an official such as myself. On the other hand, I think they might be inclined to speak frankly with one of the city saviors. As you can imagine, this is a matter of some urgency, and your help would be much appreciated. Please listen to what the citizens here in Resolution have to say. And remember, nothing is too trivial or too trifling. Anything you can glean is of use to me. Lend an ear to the citizen and make note of their grievances. I'll be grateful for any information you can provide. You wanted to hear a story? Well, my workplace was destroyed during the attack, which means I'm out of a job. Times like these are precisely when you need a decent amount of souls. But no job means no credits, and without credits, please, you've got to find me some work. With my workplace gone, I'm out of a job. You've got to help me out. My stove stock has gone to zero after getting caught up in that damned raid. If those bastards had gunned me down one more time, I'd have been gone for good. And what's been done about all this? Nothing. What's more, I hear the king himself had a hand in that awful mess. I have half a mind to build a city for all those spent souls. That'll show them. I was this close to being gone for good. Who's going to compensate me for all those spent souls? Who? After the attack, I found myself endowed with a small fortune. Inheritance, apparently. But that begs the question, did someone near and dear to me pass away? I have no recollection whatsoever. I'm finding it all rather unsettling. Someone dear to me has passed away, and yet I can't remember for the life of me who they were. I get chills just thinking about it. Did you manage to speak with the citizens? A hastily scribbled note which reads, "Workplace woes, desperate to find a new job." A hastily scribbled note which reads, "Soul stock exhausted due to recent raid, seeking compensation. A hastily scribbled note which reads, unreliable memory and bewilderment, deeply unsettled. It seems that so many have been left traumatized in the wake of the attack. It's also been alarming to see how many citizens were subjected to repeated deaths and revivals in such a short space of time. Such accounts are unprecedented. The concerns surrounding souls and employment are understandable too. It goes without saying that our resources are limited, and with the best will in the world, we can't hope to respond to every claim. Nevertheless, it is clear that more must be done to support the citizens through this trying time. Thank you for your assistance. I shall share your reports with my government sector colleagues and get to work on planning a response. God damn it, I wish I would stop feeling so lonely all the time. The wayward child seems to be searching for someone. Hey miss, do you have a moment? My ma's gone missing. She's kind of careless and none too used to the city. I figure she's gotten lost. Anyway, I need some help to look for her, which is where you come in. If you can spare the time, just let me know. Yay, you're the best. I wasn't making much headway. The sentries stopped kids wandering around without an adult in tow. I think Ma would have headed back to the entrance to the city. I mean, I told her, if you get lost, make your way back to where you started. In other words, we need to head for scanning port 9. I'm sure we'll find her in no time. Knowing my ma, she's probably feeling kind of helpless right now. Hope we find her soon. Wow, they have a gimme bat Nutrizap? Ma's always drinking this stuff, but she never lets me try. According to her, I don't need any more energy, but she has a can practically every day. I bet it tastes incredible. Say miss, why don't you buy one, and let me have a little sip, just a tiny one, please. I have no idea how these newfangled contraptions work. Anything amiss? Helping to track down this boy's mother, are you? I see. Good thing he ran such a kindly sort. How about I give you this? Unopened and bought just moments ago. A can of Gimme Back Nutrizap. For me? Really? Thank you. You're more than welcome. There's just one condition. Make sure you ask your mother's permission before you try. Gimme Back Nutrizap is an energy drink specifically formulated to keep your digestive system in tip-top shape. It's perfectly safe for youngsters to drink, so you needn't worry on that front. By the way, it might be worth your time dropping by Leander's shop in the information center. I hear he has a knack of remembering faces. Look! It's the Air Wheeler A9. That's the latest air gadget. The wheels turn into wings and it goes flying into the sky. It's amazing. The ones they use for fighting have a bunch of different weapons. Wing blades, shock cannons, all sorts. You can even get little toy versions. I'd love to ride one someday, but the robot soldiers are pretty much the only ones allowed to, apparently. Lucky machines. Knowing my ma, she's probably feeling kinda helpless right now. Hope we find her soon. Come what may, so long as I have customers, I will continue to fill their needs. Now then, can I interest you in a packet of angel snacks? Do you think that's Leander? Ah, you're one of Her Majesty's esteemed guests. How may I assist you and your young companion? So, you're looking for this young man's mother, and you wish to know if I've spotted her? Well, I'm sure you can appreciate we get a fair amount of food traffic through here. Perhaps you could start by describing what she looks like. That might jog my memory. Well, she has long hair, and she's dressed blue. What else? She makes those sweets that you've got on the shelf behind you. The angel snacks. I believe those are manufactured in the production facility on the 7th level. I wager that's where your mother works. And I'm sure you're already aware, but Everkeep is comprised of 12 levels, each fulfilling a different purpose. There are sectors for food production, machinery, manufacture, and much more besides. Look at me getting sidetracked. I saw a woman matching your description heading towards the government sector a little while earlier. I dare say you'll catch her if you leave now. I do remember thinking she looked rather unsettled, which makes sense in hindsight. Having heard your story, there's a civic advisory facility in the government sector. Perhaps she's heading there to inform them of the situation. Thanks for the information, mister. As I said, I think the young man's mother was headed for the government sector. She might have had her sights set on the civic advisory facility. I don't think Ma would have used the lay note. They have these on the other levels too, but you need Queen Sphinx's permission to use them. We'll have to use the elevators instead. I guess you do too, right? Huh? Her Majesty lets you use the layers? Whoa, you must be really important. Ah, there you are. I've been looking all over for you. Ma, see, we're heading for the government sector. We were about to go and look for you there. We? Who's this newfound friend of yours? She's been helping me look for you, Ma. Together we figured out where you might be headed. I see. No doubt you had your hands full with this one. Thank you for your patience and for being so thoughtful. As for you, young man, dashing around the city on your own like that, did you ever think to stop and consider how worried I'd be? Honestly, miss, before you showed up, I was starting to get scared. It was such a relief when I spotted you. Thanks so much for helping me find my ma. Thanks again for everything you have done. It isn't much, but I couldn't let you wander off without giving you this. I hope you enjoy your time here in the city. Just don't go getting lost like a certain young man and his mother. Ahem. If only I could fix this. The unit is unresponsive. The distraught youth gazes down at the stricken sentry with tears in his eyes. Ah! Wake up, Mr. Robot! Please, wake up! I'm sorry about that, my son. As you can see, he's completely devastated. His favourite park warden has malfunctioned. Someone must have put this unit out of action during the raid. No doubt it tried to turn its weapons on the very people it once kept safe. As an engineer, I'd like to see the automaton restored, but military-grade tech components are tough to come by. Come to think of it, there's a junk shop on True View that might well stock the necessary parts. Also, the less said about how they source their inventory, the better. I could go myself, but given my line of work, I'd rather not take the risk. Would you be willing to go in my stead? My son will be thrilled if we can get this unit back up and running. And I'll make sure it's worth your while. Here, this should cover the cost of the parts. Can I trouble you to source the components I need from the junk shop on TrueView? Oh! No. Shush, Elita, shush. Beep, beep, beep. God, I can't do so much this at once. Looking for some sentry parts? You better have the coin. A cloth pouch filled with coins to be exchanged for a selection of sentry parts. I reckon this'll just about cover it. Not sure what you're planning, given recent events and all, but I've been paid. Nothing to be gained by prying, eh? You paid for those parts fair and square. I don't care what you do with them now. Unless you're looking to spend more of your hard-earned coin, I suggest you make yourself scarce. Alakita. Alakita, who's Alakita? La 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 la. Come on, Elita, just focus. Did you get a hold of those parts? Assorted bits and bobs of varying complexity, essential for repairing faulty sentry units. Much obliged. Right, let's see what I can do. Well, it's back up and running, after a fashion. Shame about its communication matrix, though. I suppose only so much you can achieve with a quick fix. At least it's standing up now. Come on, Mr. Robot, snap out of it. Do you have any ideas? Give it a gentle pat on the back. Sometimes that's all the encouragement you need. From an engineer's perspective, your suggestions are a little unorthodox, but perhaps encouragement will have some effect. How about trying to psych the unit up? I do hope trying to psych it up works. Come on, you gotta help us out. Why have I gotta do it? That noise, what have you done to it? Here we go. Psych, I can't find psych. Here it is. Rebooting. System reboot complete. We sentries are here to maintain peace and order in the sector. Citizens are requested to report any suspicious persons or unidentified objects immediately. Please enjoy the park facilities at your leisure. Yay! I'm glad we could fix it. It won't go toppling over again, will it? Honestly, I'm surprised that worked. Precisely why it had such an effect bears further investigation. But for now, at least, everything is as it should be. Still, it gives you pause for thought, doesn't it? For my son, that sentry is a dependable, peacekeeping park warden. But in the wrong hands, its cohort could be the tools of great evil. Sadly, Jaz's attack on the city proved that point all too well. I just hope that the unit we just fixed continues to keep the peace. It's a shame we can't even take that for granted anymore. Off we go. Over there. Gradually getting these cleaned up. I lost a close friend of mine in that raid on the city. I know it's a lot to ask, but would you mind helping me give him a proper send-off? I saw you weren't wearing a regulator, figured you'd understand what I'm going through. It feels like everyone else has already forgotten all about him. I'm planning on packing a bunch of his belongings and a bottle of his favourite vintage in a box, then burying the whole lot in the cemetery in Heritage Found. If you're up to the task, I'd have you source a bottle of Alexandrian wine for me. Your best bet is speaking to the owner of Neon Stein. Once you've got the goods, come meet me by the entrance to the city. Why am I buying it for you? I understand if you want company out into the wilderness. But do you really need me to buy the item for you? After a bottle of Alexandrian wine, are you? Afraid we don't serve that here. Not the sort of thing the regulars go for. Heard it's pretty drinkable though. White wine, made right here in Everkeep, if you can believe it. Anyway, never had cause to stock the stuff. How about trying your luck in the next arcade? Can get near enough to anything there if you know who to ask. You might be able to pick up a bottle in the next arcade. If I were you, I'd head there. La la hito sanate. I believe there is. What a beauty. Alexandrian wine. Yes, we have several bottles in stock. I should warn you, it comes at a premium. Contains sufficient coin to cover the cost of a bottle of Alexandrian wine. A pleasure doing business with you. Here. If there's anything else I can help you with, don't hesitate to ask. There you are. I've just about managed to gather up all of his belongings. Any luck finding the wine? You should never keep this premium white wine is tart and dry. Appreciate you to go into all that trouble. This was his favourite tipple. Me and him, we came from completely different backgrounds, but none of that mattered. 30 years ago, I was going through a rough patch. Everything was changing right before my eyes, and he stuck with me through it all. There was one thing we didn't agree on though. Regulators. He never gave up trying to make me wear one of the damn things, but when I die, I want to go naturally, you know? Back to the land and all that. In the end, getting killed over and over, and the attack whittled his soul stock down to 0. Look, if people want to keep on wearing their regulators, I won't try and stop them, but it just isn't for me. As it stands, I'm pretty much the only one left who remembers the poor bastard. I may get the funeral rites wrong, I'm sure his kind have their own way of doing things, but he'll just have to make do. Anyway, I'm off to Heritage Found. Thanks again for helping me out. I owe you one. Hey Elita, Naomi and I will look into an alternative cure for Psychochrome as best we can. In the meantime, you should focus on preparing for the Cruiserweight division. It's filled with fearsome fighters, and I want you in peak condition when you face them. Ah, Elita, I was hoping you'd stop by. I'm afraid I've yet to complete my preparations. Forgive me, but I must ask that you wait a touch longer. The careworn gleaner appears to be in a spot of bother. Oh, come to check up on me, have you? I appreciate your concern. As you can probably tell, I'm feeling a little out of sorts. Do you need me to escort you somewhere? No, there's no need for that. I have a condition, you see. It makes me numb and lethargic from time to time. Nothing a little rest won't put right, though. Trouble is, when I get like this, I'm in no state to work. I hate to presume, but would you be willing to lend a hand? I'm one of the cleaners in charge of the True View. I was getting ready to collect the last of the refuge sacks and call it a day, when my condition flared up. I'd be ever so grateful if you could finish my rounds for me. Please, it's only a few refuge sacks. You'd be doing me a real kindness. I can barely feel my arms and legs. Fine. Bloody vending machine, give me back my money. I'm not drunk, I'm just a little tipsy. What are you doing, dude? Why are you in the trash? Feast your eyes on this True View. Oh, you look damn near death. What's the matter? Whatever's ailing you got to your tongue, has it? There you are. These fellows have... Our old pal here is feeling under the weather, can't finish his work, so he offers to pay us. Generously, I might add, to get the job done. In other words, ain't got no need for the likes of you. Go on, piss off. This is clearly more in the bay than attempt extortion. Of all the days they could have picked. Listen, we got our old pal here covered. Do yourself a favour and walk away before this gets ugly. Look, I just told you, we're dealing with this fella's problems. If you know what's good for you, you'll turn around and keep walking. Oh yeah, I can do that, can't I? Let me get this straight, you're the one our old Paul here asked to help? Ha, what a load of shite. Hold on a moment, this last looks like she's seen a fair few scrapes. Wait, don't tell me they're a bloody hunter. A hunter? Saw this for a lark, I'd rather keep me head. Phew, I tried to think what would have happened if you hadn't showed up. Am I right to assume you've finished collecting the refuge sacks for me? Unearthed from one of the receptacles dotted around the true view, exudes an unpleasant funk. Excellent, I'll take care of these. I must say, refuge collection, civis perfection, you're a woman of many talents. You have my gratitude. This sector isn't exactly the safest in the city. Shakedowns and racketeering are unfortunately rather commonplace. Usually I try to leave as soon as I finish my rounds, but today my luck ran out and I had to use one of my turns. This condition is caused by sensitivity to lightning energy. I hear the worst affected are all but bedbound by paralysis, so perhaps I should count myself lucky that my symptoms are relatively mild. But enough about that. Thanks to you, I feel more or less back to my usual self. To think I'd run into someone as virtuous as you in true view. The wistful woman hurriedly cast her gaze high and low. Would you mind giving me a hand? I'm trying to find my ring. I think I must have lost it trying to escape during the attack. It's a plain band set with a black stone. Nothing fancy, but it's important to me. We've had it in our family for generations. Before the raid, I was doing some shopping in the next arcade, so I figure it's round here someplace. Thing is, there's too much ground to cover alone. Could I trouble you to search north of the arcade? You'd be doing me a huge favour. I'll keep looking around here. Let me know if you find anything. Do me a favour and search the north side of the arcade, okay? I'd really appreciate it. Shh, Elita, shush, shush. I know. No luck here, I'm afraid. Did you fare any better? Plain ring set with a jet black stone passed down through generations. Oh, this is it. No mistake. Thank you so much. I guess I should tell you a little more about the ring after you went to all that trouble. Hundreds of years ago there was a terrible war we know as the Storm Surge. One of my ancestors, a scientist, had made it an engagement ring. The little black stone? That's raw electrobe ore. Apparently they snuck a small chunk out of the laboratory they were working at to use for the ring. Back then, electrobe ore was worth a small fortune. A gesture like that would have been a surefire way to anyone's heart. Well, according to my mother at least. Of course, these days electrobe is more readily attainable, and without any circuits printed on it, a gem like this is nothing more than a bit of lightning aspected rock. Still, every time I look at it, I can't help but wonder about my ancestors and the lives they led. I suppose I'll never find out whether the ring was enough to send sparks flying, or if they were wed when all was said and done. Thanks again for your help. I'll try and be more careful next time I'm fleeing murderous mechanical soldiers. The concierge hopes to offer insight into the Alexandrian way of life. Ah, I see Her Majesty has registered you as a guest. Welcome to the Nexus Arcade. My job is to inform visitors about the myriad services on offer here in the sector. Speaking of services, how would you feel about a little work experience? Some light labour might give you a sense of how we citizens live. I happen to have just the thing for you, a courier assignment. Rest assured you'll be compensated for your time. Your task is to deliver these supplies to clerk P50910 in residential radius 914. When you get back, I'll hand over your reward and explain how this system of ours works. Take that consignment of supplies to clerk P50910 in residential radius 914, then return here for your reward. I'll throw in an explanation about how this system works while I'm at it. How may I be of assistance? Carefully wrapped parcel containing residential radius supplies, acquired as part of your work experience in Solution 9. Inspecting contents. Authentication tag confirmed. Acknowledging receipt of residential radius supplies. Thank you for your service. Please consult with your client to receive compensation. Thank you for the delivery. Please consult with your client to receive compensation. The citizens of Solution 9 live in structures known as residential radii. These numbered buildings have a common area on the first floor, with each household living above in separate, highly standardized apartments. What are you after today? I'm looking for Airwheeler A9. Have you got any smaller sizes? I just received a delivery notification from Clerk P50910. Excellent work. As promised, let me give you a brief explanation on how we do things here and where to start them with remuneration. Alexandrians are awarded credits for their labour. These credits can be redeemed for a range of commodities, including spare souls, which are especially sought after. You'll find some citizens taking on dangerous or highly specialised work to earn even more credits and thereby furnish their needs. When it comes to delivery work, risky commissions that require couriers to venture outside Everkeep offer greater compensation. On the other hand, simpler, safer tasks undertaken within the confines of the city, much like the one you so capably handled, are rewarded accordingly. Now, seeing as you aren't registered with the citizen database, I'm afraid I can't provide you with credits, but hopefully this will suffice. Anyway, that brings my explanation to an end. In case you were wondering, I'm just as much a part of the system as any other honest Alexandrian, so you'll have to excuse me. Those credits won't earn themselves. Get in there. Why am I so lonely? I want to just... this is the life. This popular cafe is found in Solution 9's commerce sector. The races of Alexandria are named after stones, and calling the shop Mosaic was in acknowledgement of the colourful work of art that is created when the people gather together. The downhearted youth steals despondently into the middle distance. I think I recognise you. You risked life and limb to protect us even when Zora Jaw and his forces attacked. I'm almost hesitant to bring it up, but I have a favour to ask. I'm an usher. I tend to citizens on the verge of death, and I collect the bodies of those whose soul supply has run dry. The other day, I was transporting the body of an elderly man to the processing facility. Ever since then, try as I might, I can't shake the image of his face from my mind. What's worse, and I still don't know what drove me to do it, I stole one of his keepsakes, this tiny metal trinket. It's engraved with the name Travertine, but I have no idea what purpose it served to begin with. I'm dying to know the story behind it though. Can I ask you to investigate? Ideally I'd do this all myself, but it's probably best I don't go asking about the trinket I stole. Anyway, starting your search here at the Mosaic might be a good idea. The proprietor is something of a collector of mementos and knickknacks. See what she has to say. Speak with Mosaic's proprietor. She collects all kinds of keepsakes and curios. She might know something about that trinket. Annette nearly drove the car of Argo. Idiot, what would have happened to the company if you crashed? Welcome, and what can I get for you? A small metal tag engraved with the name Travertine. So, you're on a mission to find out the story behind this little trinket. Well, given its size, shape and inscription, I'd say you've got yourself a bottle tag. The sort of thing you see at bars and the like, marking out which bottle belongs to you. Unfortunately for you, Everkeep is home to dozens of drinking establishments. Figuring out where the tag was used may take some time. Ah, I might have spoken too soon. If you catch it in the right light, you can just make out what appears to be a tankard filled to the brim with pebbles on the back of the tag. Which leaves only one possibility. This is from a bar called the Neon Stein. They've been serving thirsty patrons on Trueview for years now. Could be worth a visit. A golden tag of yours is almost certainly from the Neon Stein. I suggest heading there to see what else you can find out. We meet again. A small metal tag engraved with the name Travertine. Yep, this is one of our bottle tags. Don't recall any regulars who went by Travertine though, which implies their memories are no longer with us. Hold on a moment. Ah, here it is. This bottle's already been paid for, so go on, you have it. Just make sure you deliver the message that came with it, okay? Like I said, whoever that belonged to is already settled up. Make sure that message gets delivered. Come on, go. I know, shush, Elita. If I've learned anything from all this, it's the importance of positive thinking. So here's an idea. If we could start doing business with the world beyond the barrier, just imagine the benefits we'd reap. Did you find out the story about that little trinket? An expensive-looking bottle with enticing amber liquid. A dainty card inscribed with a few heartfelt lines. A bottle tag, you say? And these were behind the bar. An unopened bottle and a... What's this? This card is made out to me, but... Between your name day and your new job, there is much to celebrate as I pen these words. No matter our circumstances, it is a solitary path we walk at the end. Know that it fills me with pride to see you tend to the dying with such patience and care. Of course, Travertine. He was my father. That explains why his face haunted me so. To tell you the truth, ever since Zorro Jazz raid on the city, the work I do has left me feeling empty. All those bodies, all those lives, I had to usher on their way. But knowing that my father was proud of me changes everything. Besides being an usher, I was able to give him the send-off he deserved. I appreciate you taking the time to do all this. I'm sure you don't have much to spare. I think I'm ready to find meaning in my work again, and for that I have you to thank, just as much as my father. Farewell. Hello! This coffee tastes so much better than the stuff I make at home. I know exactly what you mean. I can't quite put my finger on it, but I have a sense that something is missing. Life keeps getting in the way though, and I could never get to the bottom of why I feel like that. Do you know what I'm talking about? One more quest to clean up here. The worried man has a fuzzy-wuzzy problem. Warrior of light rank with cats. Ah, you there. Have you seen a black cat nearby? She's wearing a red collar with a big bell attached. We got separated during the upheaval the other day, but I spotted her in the area not too long ago. I tried to tell her there was nothing to be afraid of now, but she didn't seem convinced. Meow! Did you hear that? Is that you, my precious little fuzzy wuzzy? Oh, don't toy with me like that. To make up for that cruel joke, I think you should help search for her. If I leave it any longer, I fear she'll get a taste for freedom and never come back. I'm sure you'll be able to coax her back though. Please, your assistance would mean the world to me. Before you set off, there's something you should know. My little fuzzy wuzzy simply adores being chased. When you find her, be sure to play along and tire her out. She'll settle down soon enough. Anyway, I suggest you head to the plaza and take a look around. As I said, she loves being chased. You need to tire her out before trying to catch her. Good luck! A black cat sporting a fetching red collar eyes you warily. This must be the missing cat you've been asked to track down. She seems to have identified you as a worthy playmate. You might be able to catch her if you tire her out. Although you get the impression the cat has near limitless energy reserve, you resolve to give chase. Tire the cat out, then get close enough to swoop in and make your catch. Holy shit! Where's it going? Yeah! Damn you, you sneaky little cat. Meow, meow, meow. Get back here. Ah. Come on. Ah. How did you fare? Did you find her? An energetic black cat wearing a resplendent red collar. Any resemblance to a croquet is purely coincidental. My little fuzzy wuzzy back at last. You must have given her quite the chase. She looks about ready for catnap. Honestly, it's a relief to see her unharmed and healthy. I'm from Dawntrail originally, but I was stranded here after the barrier went up. It was this little scamp's grandma that helped get me through those dark days, after I realised I'd be unable to return back home. Indeed, I don't know where I'd be without all of my precious little fuzzy wuzzies. Thank you so much for your help. Well, what do we have here? I thought I knew all the prominent tradeswomen who passed through Solution 9. Come to sign a contract, I trust? You needn't fuss yourself over the details. The arrangement is blissfully simple. You provide me with a product, and I compensate you for said product, with scripts. A woman of your expertise must surely recognize such a lucrative offer when they hear one. In truth, it was the Dawntrail Elita who first introduced me to the many conveniences of trade with scripts. A system brought to them by a tradeswoman by the name of Rowena, but that is neither here nor there. You'll be well paid for your contributions, with scripts naturally, and your earnings can in turn be used to purchase any of our wares that strike your fancy. So, what do you say? Splendid, simply splendid. Unless you worry, there will be no quotas to speak of. You need only make deliveries when inspiration strikes. Here's to a most beautiful and profitable partnership. I very much look forward to doing business with you. When a crisis arises, it's my duty as president to make an assessment of the consortium's ongoings. Viability. As you can see, we're still here and open for business. That should make my thoughts on the economical potential of Solution 9 abundantly clear. Okie dokie. And that is everything cleared up in here. I think I will stop there for now. Love you all. Take care. Mwah.